You're getting ready to watch something unique in the entire world.
What if this was a perfect world?
Imagine a world where trans was completely understood.
Imagine a world where we were respected just for being who we are.
Imagine a world where we are not targets of violence and discrimination.
Imagine a world where radical conservatives didn't use trans issues to try and win elections.
To understand this perfect world, it looks like we will need translation. Good evening and welcome to Translation, the world's first trans show by the community educating our allies. It's 9 p.m. Monday, June 7th. I'm Tony Lima, CEO of Arianna Center, Translatina, Florida. We are proud to sponsor this groundbreaking broadcast coming to you from South Florida to our American and worldwide audience. We need your support. Please help us, as this is the first show in the world to include a complete trans cast with wonderful voices. And speaking of those trans voices, let's meet this beautiful cast. Let's welcome Misty Eyez. She is the Director of Transgender Services, Education and Training and Women's Services at SunServe, one of America's most important nonprofit LGBTQ healthcare service providers. Good evening, Misty.
Hola, thanks for having me.
Excuse me, that's mine.
Now, let's welcome Camille Lewis. She is the founder of Transluminati program and is the Empowerment Program Manager for Empower You. Good evening, Camille.
Good evening, Misty Eyez. Let's welcome Rajee Narinesingh. She is an institutional name made famous on countless reality TV appearances, including Ease Botched. She is a transgender activist, actress, spiritualist, author, and the outreach advocate for Trans Social, one of the nation's most important trans advocacy organizations. Good evening, Rajee.
Good evening, and it's great to be here. Let's welcome Schaffer Zaret. Schaffer is new in her transitional process. She is the development director for Pride Lines, one of Florida's most important LGBTQ plus advocacy and service providers for LGBTQ plus youth. Good evening, Schaffer.
Good evening. And let's welcome Ariana Lint, well-known international Latinx trans activist, openly living with HIV, and president and founder for Arianna Center. Arianna Center is one of the most important trans-focused service and advocacy organizations in our nation. The nonprofit focuses on the services for trans women of color, trans men, and gender nonconforming people in Florida, in Puerto Rico, and the South. Arianna is also one of the foremost advocates across the country focused on ending the HIV epidemic. Good evening, Arianna.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? I'm so proud to be here today.
So good evening again. And let's dive right into translation.
We begin with a breaking news bulletin we call Trans Alert. President Biden issues LGBTQ plus manifesto in powerful Pride Month essay. Joe Biden has proven his status as one of the most inclusive presidents in history with his essay for June Pride Month. The U.S. president began his proclamation by remembering the Stonewall Uprising of 1969, calling the liberation movement a, quote, call to action that continues to inspire us to live up to our nation's promise of equality, liberty, and justice for all, end quote. Before reaffirming his commitment to LGBTQ plus Americans in their, quote, ongoing struggle against discrimination and justice, end quote. Of special note, the president called out the trans community and followed up his joint session of Congress in April by saying, quote, I have your back, end quote. In his LGBTQ plus manifesto, he again said the trans community needed broad protections and equality in all aspects of American life. It was the most sweeping endorsement of our community in history. The proclamation is the first for a U.S. president since Barack Obama, after the two-time impeached television personality Donald Trump deserted the practice.
I love how we describe him. That's exactly what
Beautiful.
he should
Give
be saying.
him
Yeah.
his right description. But I would like to just jump in and say, great job, Mr. President. Thank you for putting us to the forefront. We need that type of visibility. And you know me, I always have to play, look at things from both sides of the spectrum. We need this to be continual after June is over. When the calendar turns, when it becomes, what's after June? April? May, June, July, August, September. We need all of that. We still need this continuous support.
We need it every day. We need our ally in chief, and that's what he's being when he speaks up for our community, when he mentions us, when he recognizes us, when he advocates for these sweeping changes and these legislative wins for us. We need it to continue, definitely.
And also actions say more than desires, right?
Yes.
And as he contact us, we after the last administration, we have a more approach with the White House, with the new administration, and the only we can ask to him is give us a laws for us, protect us, because we are the transgender community is a sick, and you cannot give a sick person just a Tylenol. You know, we have to have more actions and the federal levels.
Right. I remember the first time President Obama said the word transgender in a State of Union address. It spoke mounds through me. And then, of course, we had 4 years of trans people don't exist. And now to have a president have our back is truly empowering.
I love that you said that, Misty, because that's what I'm thinking about sitting here with you all. I'm like, this is so refreshing that finally we have a president that affirms the trans community, that supports the trans community, and that says this stuff across the nation. Everyone is hearing him say this. So it's a really beautiful thing, and we should all be very excited that the tides are changing finally.
And it doesn't seem forced.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, the word that comes to me is just groundbreaking. Groundbreaking. I think it's wonderful. And I feel, what did you say, Misty? I'm going to get it. Yes, historic like this show.
Very much like this
Exactly. Well, also, at Translation, we will follow an amusing social media trans story. One is #TransLOL. These are tweets, memes, or other interesting moments created by trans people about the trans community. Tonight's trans people are funny. #TransLOL is called "How Many Trans Does It Take?" What do you think?
I think it's funny because it's true. Unfortunately, if you want to be trans people, you have to live in secrecy and deny that I'm just a gay man. I think I'm a girl because I'm attracted to boys, and I think I'm a girl because whatever reason we're telling ourselves. And
So I want to push back because I think this can easily be turned into a weapon, because sometimes, and no offense, because I wear this color hair as well, blondes, when they were like, how many blondes does it take to screw, it's used as a demeaning joke or whatever, but I have to push back on that. I kind of like, think of another one, go back to the drawing board, get back with me.
Well, I'm the trans girl that would probably want three of them. You know what I mean? Hey, and they better be cute too, if they're going to come to my house.
You think you want to change light bulb, but are you sure? But do you really know?
Right,
Do you
exactly.
really
I
know?
need a second opinion and a third opinion from a really cute one.
Well, this is fantastic, because when I read this initially, I was like, wait, let me hear what these ladies are going to say about this. Because to me, it's like verging on offensive. Right? As an ally of the community, I'm like, oh.
Well, yeah.
That's why it's funny.
That's true, but yeah, it's funny, but I see where you're going with it, Camille, because I remember growing up, it was the Pollock thing, like how many Pollocks does it take to, screw in a light bulb? now it's trans.
All right, now if you're going to truly
No offense to Polacks, I've had some Polish
Polish people,
we have to laugh at
Polish
ourselves.
people. Yeah, I've had some Polish boyfriends, okay?
She's bragging. If we are going to truly explore the trans community, we also need to focus on the news. We will bring you the most important news of the week in our segment called Trans is the News.
Trans is the news. Golfer makes history as first trans woman to ever win a pro-U.S. tournament. Scottish golfer Hailey Davidson has become the first transgender woman ever to win gold in a professional U.S. tournament. Davidson, 28, who moved to the U.S. with her family in 1997, claimed victory in a mini tour event at Providence Golf Club in Polk County, Florida. She is the first trans woman to scoop a title in a pro competition, which only became possible after the United States Golf Association and the Ladies Professional Golf Association changed eligibility rules. Davidson said, quote, "I never thought I could play golf competitively as a trans woman, so I always thought it was golf or being myself," end quote. The star now has her sights set on competing in the Scottish Open and the Open Championship and, quote, "making Scotland proud," end quote. Interestingly, Davidson was born with her feet facing backwards and required dozens of medical procedures throughout her childhood, so any sport was a challenge. Speaking to the Scottish Daily Record, she condemned the crusade of anti-trans legislation in the U.S. that would prevent young trans people from competing in sports.
I love her. I love her. Yes, because especially in the sports, one right now is dealing with a lot of BS from different states. This shows a transgender woman, they can play sports very well and we can win.
Yeah.
And I think that is amazing. I love her.
I think it's amazing. Speaking of anti-trans laws, I mean, did you all see DeSantis on TV? Did you see him signing the law here in Florida? Mm-hmm. And to me, it's like, he was so proud signing this law, like he was, doing something for world, peace or for, what I mean, something monumental.
What about if we invite Santis to play golf with her?
with trans women. I love
Yes,
that
I love
idea.
her that idea.
That's a fantastic idea.
But
Yeah.
I would like to say kudos to the Women's League for changing the rules, as
Yeah,
she read,
yeah.
Schaffer read,
Yeah.
that they changed the rules to allow someone to come in and scoop up a title and get some gold up under her belt. So
Absolutely.
kudos
Yes.
to that.
I'm
Absolutely.
super
Yes.
proud of her. I'm glad that she is proving that trans is beautiful. We can
And
do
she's
things.
beautiful.
And I am super glad it wasn't Caitlyn that won.
No shade.
Oh
no
my
shade.
goodness.
Hole in
All shame.
All shade. Ladies, what I love about the story is that it gives some balance, especially to states like Florida, right? Like what Rajee was talking about. On the eve of Pride Month, we have our own governor basically saying, you're not welcome.
Yeah.
I don't support you. I don't have your back. So these stories help balance all of that. So it's our responsibility to purvey these stories, to share these stories, and to make sure that that education happens.
Yes.
So in Transgender news, business owners can get 6 months in jail if they don't post signs warning about transgender shoppers.
What?
The sponsor of Tennessee's new law requiring signs that warn customers trans shoppers can use the bathroom in their establishment, warning small business owners they could go to jail if they don't follow the law. Representative Ted Rudd had previously told fellow legislators that the law, quote, does not provide any fines or penalties at this point, end quote. But now, after passage, he's pointing out that it could actually be a Class B misdemeanor if small business owners don't post a sign within 30 days. It turns out that punishment for breaking the law would include a $500 fine and jail time. The dishonest lawmaker says he was telling the truth because the provision itself does not include a penalty, but instead it was inserted into a chapter of existing building codes that make non-compliance with smoke alarm or plumbing regulations that do not have penalty. The bill almost unanimously approved by Republicans, opposed by Democrats. It was part of the slate of hate championed by, my thing froze.
The state GOP that included multiple laws meant to harm the LGBTQ community. The law garnered widespread condemnation on social media, with transgender equality advocates saying that the signs could spread fear and hatred. Tennessee is leading the nation in anti-LGBTQ+ legislation, including healthcare bans, teaching LGBTQ restrictions in schools, banning trans participation in sports, and more.
LGBTQ advocates and the ACLU are already planning litigation to overturn the bills in federal court. What do we think about this, ladies?
I think I'm officially changing the slogan from Tennessee is no longer the 10 I see. This is just another
Wow.
way.
10 I see.
It's
That's a good
not.
one, yeah.
It's a zero. It's flunking and failing in every sense of the word. And this is just another way, death by a thousand cuts. We're going to criminalize equality, access, and equity. And it's, again, another shameful ploy to discriminate against our community and marginalize our voices and our access to services and attitudes amongst
No matter how you look at it, it's a double-edged sword of harm. You're forcing businesses to say, yes, I like trans people, or no, I do not want trans people here. Also, for the trans person, it's going to force you to out yourself as trans.
Right.
Yeah.
If you do have the gift of passing and being stealth, now are you going to be, like I remember during North Carolina in 2015, I had a layover. What am I going to do? Am I allowed to pee in this airport? Like, I'm not going to want to shop in those
Misty,
businesses.
me too. Me too.
And the
I was
prob-
scared, you know?
And the problem is in jail, they don't have the signs for the bathrooms.
Right.
They don't
Right.
care when you get
Right.
there.
But that really puts things into perspective for cisgender folks, right? Can you imagine being in an airport and fearing
Yeah.
that you have to pee? Like, what? This is
What
craziness.
does my business and my stall have to do with you?
Absolutely.
Ex-
Absolutely.
amen.
And I mean,
sister.
you know, when you go into a ladies' room, everyone goes into their own private stall.
the
I mean,
door.
what's like the big deal?
People go to pee and they leave.
Exactly.
You know
And they
what
go with
happened?
their day.
Is because people, they don't understand them. They think the bathroom is an issue, but it's not an issue for us. What we want to go to the bathroom is just because we want to, and that's it.
But remember, ladies, that all of these points are planned, like the trans sports ban,
Yes,
the bathroom
yes,
bill
yes.
issue. This is all part of a greater agenda.
Exactly.
This happens in a vacuum. A bunch of older white guys, for the most part, no offense to anyone, are out there creating these laws, basically helping people be afraid of each other.
Well, also think about this too. Okay, a business is going to be scared to put up signs saying that they welcome trans people because they'll probably think, oh my
Lose
God, I'm going to
their
lose
customers.
business.
Right.
So that's another issue, you
Absolutely.
know? It's just they're using this to just bully
Stir
our
hate.
allies.
And that's
Yeah.
why we do the work that
Scare
we do.
them.
That's why we're here.
That's why the
we
show
do this work.
exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next up, trans is the news. Trailblazing trans opera singer takes center stage in Sound of Identity. Watch this.
My name is Lucia Lucas. I've been singing opera my entire adult life.
When you're on stage, you're inhabiting cisgendered male roles. And when you're off stage, you're a trans woman. How have you navigated that?
I always have to remember why I'm here. And I'm here to do this show. And here, on this stage.
No trans singers ever performed Don Giovanni anywhere in the world.
We're not doing anything traditional here.
If people don't come, if there's silent backlash, maybe I'll even have to resign.
When opera singer Lucia Lucas, the singer's world's first openly transgender female baritone, was hired for the lead role in sociopathic, predatory male scoundrel Don Giovanni in the Tulsa Opera House's lauded contemporary 2019 production of the Mozart classic. She became the first trans performer to headline an opera in the United States. Director James Kicklighter's captivating new documentary, The Sound of Identity, reveals what went on behind the curtains as the trailblazing artist settled into her contemporary home in the deeply red state's progressive artsy enclave. For reference, Trump won Oklahoma by 33% in 2020, with over 65% of the vote. Shooting took place during the 6 weeks leading up to and during the run. The filmmakers captured some truly dramatic operatic moments, like a reunion between Lucas and her father, who hadn't seen her since before she transitioned and came out as trans circa 2014. The now 39-year-old Lucas makes history for the trans community in the performance and in this documentary.
I know we say it's not over till the fat lady sings,
That's
but
You can say that.
it ain't over till Lucia Lucas sings, but now this is just the beginning. Bravo, this is beautiful.
I just want to say, go girl. You're about to plant your stake in the ground in a red state. Put on your red lipstick and make a statement with it, honey, because baby, you are my new shero. Thank you, my darling.
I just feel so blessed that I lived to see these like great firsts for our people.
Trailblazing.
You know, really, I mean, there was a time where I didn't think any of this would have been possible.
Right.
So.
As
So,
we talk about
pardon
all
the
time.
pun,
Yeah.
but she has balls. I was a competitor. Ay, caramba! No, but I was a competitive. I was a competitive singer and I studied opera. But when I transitioned, my contrace, I can't do that in the.
Oh, do it again.
Wow. Meanwhile, I am like suffering severe allergies. But it was very triggering for me to stand on a stage and sing with a male baritone voice. Not only did she sing as a male baritone, but she played a man on stage. Don Giovanni is a male character. So imagine being a beautiful goddess by the daytime and then putting on boy drag and singing with your man voice. I don't know if I could have done it.
Maybe she tell herself every day is Halloween when she's on stage.
But
Every
she
day
gets
is
paid. She
Halloween.
gets
I
paid.
love that. You know what's
Love it.
interesting? I loved when we were reading this story that the fact that there's a female baritone.
On the
Right?
set.
Right, so that's fantastic because we're
Yeah.
breaking barriers just with that simple truth. Although she played Don Giovanni, I'm sure there will be more roles that would be representative of her true gender identity. And I love that. We celebrate that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at Translation, we examine what the trans community as people experience in our world. This segment is called First Impressions of Trans People, What We Face. Our hosts reflect on their early lessons and impressions of trans people and identity. And we're gonna start first with Miss Schaffer. Tell us about what we face.
Well, what we face is everyday curiosity. We face interest in who we are and how we are. And for me to that, I am Schaffer Zaret, a proud trans woman, 6 months on hormone therapy, my chest coming in. And I'm just living and loving my life. It's amazing. It's incredible. That's what we face, but that's what I face. And this face is ready for it all.
That's beautiful, Shay. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you, sis.
Ariana, let's go with you now. Tell us about what we face.
Well, what I face better, I face, listen, nothing happened when you TV. It's my accent, So, because a lot of people, they don't understand. But I watching the show, the premiere, I watching 3 times, and I understand what I say. So I face that.
On that note, as Ariana has her telenovela moment, we will go to Rajee. Rajee, tell us about what we face.
Wow. So for me, I remember when I was in the middle of transitioning, it was like the beginning for me, and I was like, progressing, but I didn't think I was far enough progressed to use the ladies' room. But this particular day, I went into the men's room, and I remember washing my hands, looking in the mirror, and a guy walks in, and he starts backing out slowly. Like, I'm sorry, ma'am. And then he looks at the door, and he sees men, and he's looking at me and looking at the door, and that was the moment I graduated to the ladies' room. Yeah.
It clicked. It clicked.
It
for
did.
you.
It
Like,
really
I
clicked.
am a
Yeah.
lady.
That was the moment it solidified for me that I was able to go in the ladies'
Well, thanks for
room.
sharing
Yeah.
that, Rajee. Camille, tell us about what we face.
We face the constant effort to be the best representation of ourselves and of our community. Like we said, we're the conversation of Pride Month and people being so proud to be a supporter of Pride. But when the calendar turns, I'm always thinking about tomorrow and next month. So when the calendar turns, are we going to have that same momentum? Will our allies and supporters have that same momentum? So we're facing being the best representation on and off stage constantly. That is what we're facing.
Thank you, Camille. And Misty, how about you? Tell us about what we face.
Oh gosh, we as trans people face discrimination. We face a society that does not treat us as people. And then we try to find jobs and people don't want to hire us because we're too tall or our voices are too deep. And then of course we can't afford body modification and we can't afford rent, and that leads to homelessness.
Thank you, Misty. Up next, this is our trans issue of the week. Each week we will focus on what we think the entire trans community is talking about. It's June Pride Month, and major brand commercialism is significant. Many Pride collections are being sold at Target, Reebok, Converse, Calvin Klein, and dozens more. Some in our LGBTQ plus community criticize this pride capitalism. Some suggest the representation is great for the community. But let's narrow the conversation. So our translation issue of the week is 2021 Pride has highest major brand commercialism in history. How does this affect the trans community?
Well, first, I went to Walt Disney World with one of my trans sisters, and the trans pride is only available online. I could not find a trans pin in Disney anywhere to save my life, and they all said it was sold out. But they had lots of gay pride. But I am super proud that there is a trans pin, and it's $10 if you go online.
And I love that it's a brand as well. But when you look at TV, is that model made for TV, or does that model look like us on this table? Does that model look like us on this table? I don't want anybody that's fine, that's prettier than me, that's representing me. Show me somebody with some cellulite and some curves. So I can be like,
There was a large and lovely woman in there.
Where?
I don't know if he can find it again.
But-
There's a
show me
large,
somebody
gorgeous woman.
Show me somebody that eat plates.
That's
so
not
I
her.
can know that shirt.
No,
shirt.
plates.
They show some other models with different bodies, but what I like to say is many of these brands, they have foundations and they give grants to vulnerable communities, what don't happen with other ones. So everything is commercial. Yes, they commercial
Right,
about
and they look
plate.
like commercials.
But they
I
give
need
back to the
see somebody
community
that wears at
sometimes.
least a
Yeah.
double or a triple X.
Yeah.
Now, devil's advocate, I do not care that these people are making money off of us. I don't.
I don't
Yeah.
either.
The only negative I can personally think of is I was doing an LGBTQ training, and I thought there was an ally. There's the large woman. There was
Okay,
an ally.
okay.
I
Thank
thought
you for
I had
showing
an
that.
ally in the front row. There was a soccer mom haircut, and she was sitting in the front row with a huge rainbow sweatshirt. I'm like, yes, I have an ally. She turned out to hate everything I was saying. She was not an ally. She just didn't know she was buying a gay pride shirt.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I went to Walgreens the other day, and they had a full rack of
And Target.
LGBTQ. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely wonderful. The only thing that concerns me is that, you know, they're going to make all this money and then still not do anything for our community.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a company that's making
Put your money
a
where your
ton
mouth
of
is.
money,
Yeah.
give
Funnel some of
something
that
back.
back.
Yeah, give it back
Like
to our
Neiman Marcus
community.
from last
Right.
time.
Yes.
To Ariana's point, there are a lot of companies that are doing that. They're giving money back to the most vulnerable communities. For me, like the cisgender voice on here with all you lovely ladies, I love to see all of this pride stuff everywhere because I feel
Yeah.
included. I feel like there's a space for us. They're thinking about us. But it's a double-edged sword, as we were talking about, because they are making a ton of money.
They
So
are.
unless it's coming back to the community in some significant way, I'd rather see more of that and less of the commercialism.
Or I'll be happy to see if you just keep a small section. After June is over,
It's year-round.
Can I go and just buy me a pride shirt or a rainbow shirt just
That's
because?
a good point.
And it's a great opportunity for our allies to be able to purchase these things and show their allyship.
Yeah. And you know, Pride is all about that visibility, but there are members of our trans community, non-binary community that are not afforded that visibility. It's
true.
And so when you see all the rainbows and everything, it's so exciting, it's beautiful, but we also have to remember and redirect. We talk about gay pride, gay pride.
Yes.
People start to look at LGBTQ as the acronym, and they do. It's a silent T during Pride Month. I think it's getting better. We're
Even
not
at
there
Disney.
yet.
Even at Disney.
Even at Disney.
We're not there
the
yet,
most
but
happiest place on earth.
It's slowly turning, but we have to redirect and understand that not everyone can go and buy rainbow this, rainbow that,
Yeah.
and wear it loudly and proudly. They're still living maybe in fear, insecurity, and we have to acknowledge that too.
Great point.
I love you.
Go ahead.
All right, so big news for our trans community. The world's most popular international Spanish language network, Telemundo, has selected our very own Ariana Lint and Tony Lima of Ariana Center to be featured in their first ever and historic educational campaign, Unstoppable Pride, to be featured throughout the month of June on the network and all of its digital and broadcast platforms. They appeared this week on Hoy Día, the most popular Spanish-speaking morning television show in America. Watch this.
A ver, yo me imagino, tengo esta esperanza que dentro de 50 años, un niño o una niña abra un periódico y diga, a ver, ¿qué pasaba en el 2021? Quiero ver qué noticias se publicaban en el 2021. Entonces abre el periódico y ve que estamos discutiendo si la comunidad LGBTQ+ tiene los mismos derechos que los heterosexuales. Ojalá y no tardemos tanto para llegar a ese piso parejo, ¿no?
Claro que sí, eso es lo que queremos.
es un sueño muy grande, pero por eso Ariana y yo hacemos el trabajo que hacemos todos los días en nuestra abogacía, en todo lo que hacemos para educar a nuestra comunidad.
Somos las más vulneradas y no tenemos los mismos accesos. Tú puedes ver negocios de gays, los negocios de lesbianas, sin embargo, la comunidad transgénero no nos dan la oportunidad de empleo. Por eso que yo tuve que abrir una agencia y una fundación para poder brindar servicio a las comunidades más vulneradas y de ahí poder ser una profesional de categoría.
Qué admirable, a ver.
I don't know what he said, but him holding that trans flag like it was contagious was lovely to me.
Well, I just want to know, can I have your autographs?
Oh,
Yay! Oh, Hunter, you on national television.
Can I make in Spanish because I think
I understand well.
Tony was rocking that 70s porn star mustache.
Yes.
Telemundo. Yes,
Congratulations.
ma'am.
It's my pride mustache. It's for pride. That's what I was thinking
that's
of when
your
I did
pride
this. Yeah,
mustache?
that's my pride
Okay.
mustache.
Okay, well,
I'm bringing back the 80s clone look.
Oh, me siento muy proud of Tony and Ariana.
I love it.
beautiful.
Thank
But
you.
no, seriously, I want my autograph.
Yes.
It was lovely.
I
It was
charge.
lovely.
I am a transgender woman. I charge for autographs.
Visibility, visibility,
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Representation matters, and I think the fact that they highlighted our beautiful partnership in cisgender
Yes.
leadership
Yes.
in running this organization is a fantastic thing because we were the only couple like that.
And like you say in the Latina TV, right? They don't see that partnership most frequently in this field or in this community. So I think it's so important, and that's why we want to highlight the importance of some transgender can have some ally.
Yeah.
Gay,
Thank you.
lesbian.
Yes.
Well, we don't
Thank
happen
you for your
that.
representation. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And nobody will hire trans people.
Right. And let me ask you, what was it like off camera? What is the sentiment in the studio and just amongst these personalities about when the cameras stop rolling and they stop this promotion, kind of what's the
Were they
feeling like?
nice to you?
They are very nice.
Yeah.
They are very supportive, and they're very nice. They stop, they take a picture with us, and they're very, very, very nice. I think.
Very inclusive, very, very loving, lots of hugs and kisses. It was really a beautiful moment. It really was.
And that is the only TV because I was in other TVs, and you can feel that difference. You know, when the lights go down, oh, they don't say nothing, or they don't approach you. But now, in this TV, I love it.
Good.
So this is going to be a really fun part of the show that I'm so excited to do. But next up, we are going to play a game and learn a bit more about our hosts. We call this Translation Game of the Week. Tonight's game is called That's So You. Before the show, each host wrote down a like and dislike. I'm getting ready to read a card as our other hosts guess who we are talking about. Everyone ready?
Yes.
I'm so excited about this.
Okay, let's see.
So let's see.
Okay.
This lady's likes are travel and beauty pageants, and her dislikes are injustices, discrimination, and hypocrisy.
Misty.
That sounds like.
We're guessing after he reads all of them.
Oh,
Oh, no, each. Yeah, tell me who you think it is.
yeah, Misty.
I was going to say you.
I was going to say Misty.
Misty. I think
I
it's
think,
her.
and I think Ariana, the secret beauty queen. Oh, that face
Oh,
says
wait
no.
a minute
Are
now.
you telling on yourself? Is that you?
Okay.
So I'll confirm that. That was Ariana Lint, who
Yeah.
likes travel and beauty pageants, injustices, discrimination,
You-
and
you
hypocrisy.
write so
You don't
good.
guess because Tony read the card.
Did you write it in Spanish?
So listen, let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay.
So this lady likes Korean food and dislikes if a guy farts on a date.
That's right.
Who is this?
Rajee.
Who is this?
You, Rajee.
No, I think it's Schaffer.
I don't mind farting.
Wow.
Was that you, Schaffer? Is that your sister?
No.
No.
You guys really want to know who it is?
Misty.
Hold on. My husband farts all the time. It doesn't bother me.
I eat. I go to lunch when Rajee, and I think she like the Caribbean food.
I think she likes
Wow. And actually, you're absolutely right. That was Rajee.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, but let's say on a first date. Okay, like, that's a little bit
First
of a turn-
impression.
Yeah,
So he can
first-
fart on a
exactly.
second date just
Well, maybe like around the fourth
Once
date.
you have a title on the relationship,
Well, first
then
of all,
you can
please
say
don't fart around me. Just have.
I know, go in the bathroom, right? Go in the
Thank
but I
you.
love
All
Korean
right.
food. Oh my God, I love Korean food.
All right, ladies.
Kimchi.
I like binge watching TV shows, even if I've seen them 1,000 times. This lady's dislike early morning phone calls I'm not a morning person. Who is this?
Camille!
He was giving all away.
That was unanimous.
Unanimous.
Oh my God. Yes, that's me.
So now it's down to 2. Am I the next card or Schaefer the next card?
Why did you all have to sing my name when you all said
Well, I was pointing subconsciously.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So this lady likes pizza and beer and dislikes closed-minded bigots.
Misty.
Misty.
Yes, Misty.
Do I fucking look like I like
Bleep, and more bleep.
Do I look like I like beer? I'm from Alaska, but I'm not a redneck.
No. I tell by the pizza.
The pizza.
Oh,
the
pizza. I like
pizza.
pizza.
The
Yeah.
pizza. And you have a husband.
So then, who is it then?
Is it Shay?
It's me,
It's
of
Miss
course.
Shay.
I
So
love
read it
pizza.
again. She likes pizza and beer.
I
What
love
does she
pizza and
dislike?
beer, and I dislike closed-minded bigots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That part is me. That part
Come
is
on,
No one's
sister, pizza and beer.
Oh.
So
now
we
everybody
all know.
knows.
Yes,
Yeah.
that you like
That's
muscle
why
men
we-
and you dislike body odor.
Well, that's me too, girl.
That is so you, Misty Eyez.
I was
that
trying to be
fun.
vague. Every girl we probably likes muscle men, and we all probably ate body odor.
On that note, I'll tell you a little bit
that
more
was
about
fun. That was fun.
translation.
Really
The mission of translation is to give our beautiful trans community the voice they deserve. So up next is our segment, What's on Your Mind? I'm going to ask each of the unique and diverse hosts to tell us what we should be thinking about. So here we go. I'm going to start off right now with Arianna. Arianna, what's on your mind?
What is in my mind? I want to have a night meeting with Governor DeSantis
Okay.
to make him trans-friendly to us. Trust me.
I-
You're going
I
to
feel
love
like that's gonna
transgender
be-
after the meeting.
Oh, wow.
Secret weapon.
That winks a lot, sister.
I know.
Wink for
This
me.
just went in the wrong direction real quickly, huh?
Wow.
Shay, let's move on to you. What's on your mind this week?
What's on my mind is whether or not when to disclose I'm trans to the people I'm talking to. I've started to look into dating and Tinder, and it's all coming up for me, relationships and me being trans. And so that's really what's on my mind, and how I disclose that and how I talk about it, and, you know, facing rejection head on, which I'm ready to do.
It's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing
I
that,
want to
Shay.
comment so bad.
So, Rajee, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is I'm probably going to have to stop eating Chick-fil-A. Because we all know what Chick-fil-A is doing to our community. And I love Chick-fil-A. That chicken is so good. But I'm going to have to stop. I can't support them anymore.
It's true, like my sister Camille said earlier, that hate sandwich tastes
That
really
extra
good.
chicken is the
God.
best chicken
Chicken
ever.
deluxe hate.
It's like, it tastes like home-style chicken.
Chick-fil-A with extra
It's
hate on the
delicious.
side.
Extra hate on the side,
Anyway.
yes.
Hate.
Yep.
Anyway, I guess I have to find somewhere.
On that note, Camille, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is that we continue to be trans no matter what. There is not an eraser in our hands. The only person that has an eraser is our great creator and our maker. We have to remind ourselves and others that trans is within us. It is not in the hands of other people. So we have to remain to be vigilant and not afraid to be unapologetically who we are.
Thanks,
We
Camille.
won't be erased.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Misty, what's on your mind?
So what's on my mind this week is actually personal. Today, I solidified the date for Mr. and Miss Stonewall 2021. It will be June 16th, which is a Tuesday, at the Eagle at 8 p.m. We've had this pageant for 16 years, and the winner of Mr. and Miss Stonewall ride in the Pride Parade as Mr. and Miss Stonewall for the community. And now that we're having the parade, we're having Mr. and Miss Stonewall.
And I love the eagle and Wilton Mano,
Of course
right?
you do.
I love that.
So was that like a little plug? A little
Yeah, that's on my mind. No, I've been spending
big
all
plug.
day doing it.
It's a
Oh
big
no!
plug.
But
It's a big
congratulations, 16 years is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up next, we are going to do a lightning round of some of trans topics in the news. We call this segment Trans Poppin' Fresh. So we are going to tell you a headline in the news this week, and we're going to discuss it. But there's a twist. Together, as a group, we only get to discuss it for 1 minute. Do we all understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try.
Yeah.
Un minuto, so let's get started. It's June Pride Month, and our anti-LGBTQ Florida governor waited until it started to send us all a clear message. So trans pop and fresh headline. In honor of June Pride Month, Florida Governor DeSantis bans transgender from high school sports on June 1st. Watch this.
Senate Bill 1028, the Fairness in Women's Sports Act, is signed into law.
I can tell you this, in Florida, you know, girls are going to play girls' sports and boys are going to play boys' sports. That's what we're doing, and we're going to make sure that that's the reality.
Governor Ron DeSantis introduced the legislature at a news conference at Trinity Christian Academy in Jacksonville. The bill makes participation in high school and collegiate athletics contingent on biological sex.
We're going to go based off biology, not based off ideology when we're doing sports. The bill defines a student's biological sex based on the student's official birth certificate at the time of birth.
The new law has brought immediate backlash from the transgender community.
Our governor is yet again proving that this state is not only a red state, but a redneck state.
Redneck state. And you know what? Thank you for casting us away, because we are superior. As trans individuals, we are a superior bunch of people, and we can do our own sports. We can do our own.
And the problem, the thing is, when he signed the law, he said, girls going to play with girls, and that mentality is from a long time, from
ignorant.
You know,
Biology
it's ignorant.
versus ideology.
Ideology.
I really don't like him. Now I really don't like him.
God.
I was like trying to give him a chance, okay?
Were you though?
Well, a little bit, a little bit. But no, I don't now like seeing him sit on the news so proud, because even the look on his face as he signed it, like, oh my God, he's like helping with something so profound, like it was global warming or something.
But you know what, Rajee? I don't find this surprising. He tried to play with our lives during the COVID pandemic. You know, he was trying to, for me, my personal opinion, viewers, he tried to play God in somewhat of a way. So this doesn't surprise me.
I think he wanted running for other, like senator or something, or president or something.
He's pandering.
Yes,
I'm moving to the moon.
Big time.
And
Mm-hmm.
sticking to that agenda that we were
don't go
talking
too
about,
far.
ladies.
In the opening.
Yeah, he's sticking to that conservative agenda. I think the really scary thing about this is that it was, and we've talked about this, the first bill in 23 years that actively hates on the community that passes.
Yes.
So we have to make sure that more of these bills don't come out of Tallahassee and into our state.
We need more allies.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Did you know that the #1 entertainment provider in the world is not movies, not TV, it's actually video gaming? But is this important in the trans community? So trans, pop, and fresh headline. World's largest gaming service, Twitch, adds transgender tag. What do we think about this?
I like it. Yeah. I have some sisters that are gamers, some brothers and sisters that are avid gamers. Like, you call them during the game and they won't even answer the phone. So I like this. I can build someone that looks like me.
Yeah.
I play with the guys.
Of course
The game.
You play with the guys?
Now you can. Yes,
You play with the guys?
You play with the guys.
Well, yes, because I'm a cougar. But you know what? They're coming and they play with you, so you can be over there and they can be over here, and it's so fun. It's so it's for youth people.
This is vital. Most games are catered towards men.
Right.
So when you do pick a game, you almost always have to play a masculine role or a male role or have a male name, and having the option to be transgender is major.
But on Super Mario Brothers, I was always the princess, and on Mortal Kombat, I was always Katana, because I thought she was just here.
Not all games do that.
But right.
Well, I'm happy we're represented. I mean, I think it's a good thing.
Visibility matters.
I don't play, but my nephew does. Oh my God. He's like so into it. And my sister and brother-in-law had to like put a limit on it. It was that bad, so yeah.
I think that's exactly what I love about this, the fact that representation matters, as we always talk about, and having this representation in the video game world is amazing. So let's move on to our next Trans Pop and Fresh. Would it be possible to once imagine trans girls winning beauty pageants and model reality shows with cisgender girls? So Trans Pop and Fresh headline, move over Tyra Banks, there is a new girl in town. Transgender person wins Germany's next top model.
Yeah. Celebrated. That is
Girl power,
celebrated.
honey. She turned it. Trans women have been competing in cis pageants for a very long time, but they've not always been out of the closet. And the fact that she could enter and win as an out trans woman is major.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I think it's important too, the beauty pageants for transgender women. And as a professional in my organization, we are one of the organizations what we trying to building leadership through the beauty contest, because that platform they can change and they can educate to people. They can, you understand?
I'm glad they saw her. I'm glad they saw her as equal competition from the start.
Yeah.
That's what's most important to me. They saw her as equal
Validation.
competition from the start, and she wasn't like discriminated against at the door because she was just so happened to be trans.
And she won.
And she won.
Huge
So that means
win.
she got a fair chance from start to finish.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's it. Translation. This unique forum is a first ever experiment to bring the trans community voice forward. Whether politics, healthcare, mental health, entertainment, and the countless other streams of the trans community and your lives. Translation will be here to explore it all. To talk about it, we end tonight's show with what we call Translation Challenge. To simply help the trans community, you have an opportunity to say goodnight, to remind us how incredible the world of trans really is. A good night first from Ariana Lint.
Muy buenas noches. Thank you so much to this program and watching the next program. I promise you I'm going to have a more English.
Mira, your English is very good.
Oh, I love it. You are the first one you tell me you don't understand nothing what I say.
One word.
One word. With that, we'll have a good night from Rajee Narinesingh.
Well, I want to thank everyone for watching again. And I just want to say, anyone out there that's watching that feels like giving up, it's been a rough time this last year. And I'm talking to everyone, LGBTQ, and even, if you're not. There was moments where I felt like I wanted to throw the towel in.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I think now, if I had done that, like all the stuff that I would have missed out on, all the blessings and wonderful opportunities, like sitting at the table with you all.
Oh, sister.
And so I just want to tell you, hold on. It will get better, and keep that in your mind and declare it that it's going to get better. Love, peace, and blessings.
We love you, Rajee.
I love you all too.
Now a good night from Schaffer Zaret.
Tonight has been a good night. It's been a very good night. We've shared some great stories with you. You've learned a lot about us. You've seen us mingle and talk and laugh. And I'm sure you want to know more. Well, in your community, there are ways to find out more. There are people to connect with. So make tonight's good night a great tomorrow and get to know us. Go out into the community, talk about what you're seeing and what you're learning. That's what this is for, and we want to bring that to you every single week.
Shay for president is all I have to say.
I love her.
And now a good night from Camille Lewis.
Make tonight and every night intentional. Set great intentions for yourself tonight. Start off by saying, tonight I will sleep well and I will have positive dreams. And tomorrow, set your intentions by saying, today will be a good day and nobody will get my goat. So from myself to you all, good night, and set intentional intentions.
Amen. Amen to that. And now a good night from Misty Eyez. Did I do that right?
Yeah. Misty
okay.
Eyez. All right, whoever you are watching this video, even if you're a hater, disgusted by everything we say, or if you're an ally or LGBTQ, especially if you're a trans sibling of ours, please look in the mirror and remind yourself, I am beautiful, I am loved. And remember that we love you, even if you don't love us.
Thanks, Misty. Well, that's it. And a special good night from Arianna Center, the sponsors of Translation.
We need your help to support this broadcast. We invite you to reach out to sponsor, like, and share this amazing show. Are you going to help the trans community?
Hey L's, hey G's, B's, and Q's, are you going to support your T's? If you believe trans rights are human rights, Translation is for you.
Share this broadcast, talk about it, like it, and tell the entire LGBTQ community and our allies there is something new.
Fox News cannot be the only voice. The trans community deserves more. We hope you agree. If you do, we will see you every Monday night at 9 p.m. providing Translation.
Good night.
Good night.